Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host. I sound a little, I don't know, I got a little frog in my throat today. Man, we got a lot to cover. I'm here in Ohio, on my way to Springfield, Massachusetts, not Missouri like I said before. I'm sure I'll get back to Springfield, Missouri. Now, for those of you who've been watching for a while, you're probably like, why does he have that red Nike t-shirt on again? He's a trainer at Prime. Well, psych, this is a Prime shirt. Just got it. Yeah, it's and this is actually embroidered. I like the ones with the embroidered better, and they don't have anything on the back. I feel like they're a little bit heavier duty t-shirt. Anyway, so enough about my new red Prime shirt. As I said, I'm here in Ohio, like Burbank, I think, is actually the closest town to this Love's that I'm at. And right down the road from here, because I passed the exit for it, and I've actually driven by this place many times, is Mansfield, Ohio. And there's something really cool in Mansfield, and especially this time of year, it's like a big deal. But the Ohio State Reformatory is in Mansfield. Now you're like, well, what does that have to do with us, Terry? I mean, what's that got to do with travel? Well, you may not know that name, but you would recognize it as the set, or part of the set, for the movie The Shawshank Redemption. One of my favorite movies, too. It's just a great story and, you know, a lot of layers to it. So Shawshank Redemption, very well-known movie, was shot there. But also a couple other movies. Tango and Cash, part of it was set. They used the reformatory in that movie, and I think that was a Kurt Russell and Mel Gibson deal, if memory serves me. I do remember seeing it, but I'm pretty sure that's who was in it. And then the other movie that I was kind of surprised, but was Air Force One. Shot part of it at the Ohio State Reformatory. But today, as we speak, there are really two things that go on. One thing goes on year-round there, and there is an Ohio State Reformatory Preservation Society that actually bought the building after it was shut down, and it was shut down by a prisoner lawsuit, because it was never intended to be a prison per se, but the state of Ohio was using it, and then prisoners sued because the conditions were bad, because the building was built in like 1890. It took 10 years to build. And then they closed it down in 1990, and so the Preservation Society bought it from the state of Ohio for $1, and they, you know, raised money by giving tours, and it's, you know, it's a unique architectural thing. And the other thing that goes on that I'm guessing the society rents it out to a private business for this is, starting in October, because I saw a billboard for this, it's Blood Prison. So if you like to get scared and these haunted house things are just a huge deal now. They like have like professional actors and yeah, so it's a big deal. So that would probably be kind of cool, just because the site's so historic and it's well known and everything. So that's in Mansfield. You can, and by the way, you can actually see the building itself from US 30. So if you ever are schlepping across 30, I used to run 30 a lot, and I still do sometimes. If I'm not in huge hurry, I'll avoid the tolls on the Ohio Turnpike. But that's in Mansfield. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about that's not really too far away from here is over in Canton is, of course, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, you're probably like, yeah, tell me something I don't know. Well, here's what I want to say about the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yesterday, in a game against the Detroit Lions, the GOAT, the greatest of all time place kicker, field goal kicker, whatever you want to call him, Justin Tucker, set the NFL record for longest field goal. And by the way, he did it by over 2 yards. So, or by 2 yards, I guess, because they don't really measure it like it's an Olympic sport. But 66 yards, that broke the previous record of 64, which was set, I think, back in 2004, maybe 2003. And before that, it had been 63, and that was done by Tom Dempsey, who, if you don't know anything about Tom Dempsey, he had a club foot, and he kicked a field goal 63 yards. But that was years ago, like when I was a kid. So that 63-yard record stood for a long time, and then Justin Tucker broke that record. And by the way, I said Stover is like Freudian slip or whatever, but so Matt Stover was also a money place kicker for the Ravens, but man, Justin Tucker is just taking it to another level. And the reason I say he's the GOAT is because, first of all, he now has the distance record, and I feel like if the ball's inside the stadium, he can probably get it through the uprights. But the other thing that even before this accomplishment, he's the most accurate place kicker in NFL history. The other thing that is, I think, an amazing stat is he is the most clutch kicker in NFL history. 16 times in his career, inside of a minute left to play, he has kicked a field goal that has given the Ravens the lead. 16 out of 16 times. Every single time. So he is probably he's definitely the most money guy ever to place kick in the NFL. So, there aren't a lot of kickers in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I think there's only one punter, and that's Ray Guy, who was, if you never got to see Ray Guy play, go back and look at some films, because he was sick. He was also a number 1 draft pick, though, too. So, I mean, he was just, that's the gold standard, Ray Guy. And there's a couple other kickers. George Blanda's in the Hall of Fame, but he was also a quarterback. So, quarterback and then place kicker. Anyway, enough of that stuff. So let's talk about, well, we'll get to the strike in a minute. I got to tell you, that was some crazy stuff today. But I promised a little bit ago that I would talk about this Freightliner Cascadia recall. I reached out to RA at Prime, Road Assist, and said, hey, what do you know about this recall? And they didn't really have any information. But I'm going to give you the information, and there may be a way that, even if you don't work for Prime, you can kind of get out in front of it. So the recall is on the drag link taper joint, and that's in your steering system on the front of the truck, obviously. If this thing totally fails, you could just lose steering. I don't know exactly why the drag link taper joint is a problem, but it's got to be repaired or replaced. Now, the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, NHTSA, has, so not FMCSA, but NHTSA has a recall number, and you could go to their website and read more about this, but so it would just be nhtsa.gov, I guess. But their number is 21V, V as in Victor, -689. Freightliner already does have a recall number, and it's 900, so it's FL-900. But anyway, at the end, and I don't know why this takes so long, but there are about 105,000 tractors that are affected by this recall. However, DTNA, which is Daimler Trucks North America, that's the manufacturer of Freightliner, they're not required to send out notices to owners until October 31st. So that's probably about as early as this is going to start spooling up. and I don't know exactly how a recall that big, that's I'm sure going to affect a bunch of trucking companies, is going to be handled. But sorry about the glare. So more to come on that. But if you know anything, put it in the comments. But like I said, RA was not aware of it. I mean, I kind of feel like maybe they just get fed information when somebody else decides it's time for it. So real quick, let's talk about the strike. Wow. I mean, today was strike day, strike for freedom, medical freedom. Man, I saw fists shaking. I saw people flipping the bird, yelling at each other, just aggressive behavior. That was intent. Wait. Oh, no, never mind. That was when I was just trying to cross the bridge in Cincinnati that had one lane closed. Never mind. I actually didn't see any strike stuff. So I don't know. In fact, I drove 60 all day, and I got passed, by old ladies on bicycles and stuff. So I don't know if there was a, slow roll anywhere. I was slow rolling all the way from, I did my O2, and then I slow rolled from Elizabethtown, Kentucky up here to northeastern Ohio. So anyway, if you hear any more about the strike, I'd love to hear about it too. That's about all I got today. Take it easy. I thought I would have a trainee lined up, but that didn't work out. So my fleet manager's working on somebody else to line up for so they can finish out their TNT. So I'm glad to help if I can. And be safe out there. We'll be back with you soon. I'm probably gonna be just moseying across PA tomorrow. Probably get over to Pittston, because this delivery, my 90 appointment's not till 1100 on Wednesday, so I'm not in any big hurry. To help me even out my recap hours a little bit too. So anyway, take care, and we'll catch you next time on Tim Travels. Bye.